super excited to get things going, and also to showcase our state. I think Greenville has done a tremendous job hosting the SEC tournament, and I'm so proud to be a South Carolinian so everybody can see just what our state has to offer.
Gamecock press conference, so DC.
How's it going, Dawn? Last game against UCLA was obviously a while ago, but do you think you'll see any similarities from what they ran, what you guys had to run to stop them from that game to come into this one?
I'm sure. I mean, if I had us on the ropes like they had us on the ropes, I would actually take some things that were pretty good, and probably try to stick with those things that were good for us. But we'll probably see the sagging. We'll probably see the 32. Maybe they'll press us a little bit because I've seen them press. Much like us, they're going to probably throw it all out there because at this stage of the game, it is do what you need to do to get a victory.
Watch Fox.
Yeah, after that first matchup with UCLA, Coach was saying that you told her, we'll see y'all again this season. What was it about that matchup that you knew that this day would come down the road?
Well, I mean, we've always run into opponents that we've seen throughout the season, and I just felt like they were a really good opponent and an opponent that we'll probably face again. And I think they're just really, really well coached and really intentional about where they like to get their shots from, and they're really good at what they do. And it's on both sides of the basketball, and they rebound extremely well. So, I mean, it's a great matchup because we're probably very similar in those qualities.
Over here on the right.
Hey, Don. Chantel Jennings with The Athletic. In the era of the transfer portal, keeping depth has been increasingly difficult for coaches. You've been able to do it better than almost anyone. I'm curious why you think that is.
I don't know. I mean, I try to treat our players as people. I try to communicate. We as a coaching staff, we communicate extremely well with our players, good, bad, or indifferent. I think they really respect the fact that we're not recruiting them in a way of dating them, like you have to date newcomers. Like we're giving them life skills and how to deal with things. And it doesn't mean that once this is over that we won't lose anybody, but whoever we lose, we probably lose for a lack of playing time versus anything else. Because I do think we treat our players extremely well, and we treat their parents well. We communicate with them, and it's an opportunity for us to just help young people grow. And it's not to say that people who go into that transfer portal, they're not. It's not to say that those coaches aren't doing the same things, but I think these young players, they just have a freedom to move, and they don't mind doing it. Like, they don't mind. It's really nothing for them to decide, I want to go in a different direction, and that's the way it is, and we have to deal with it, and we will.
I got a bunch of lines. Start with Pete Yannity.
Hey, Dawn. Your offensive production is impressive, but the rebound margin and the blocks per game are staggering. Can you kind of put into perspective what those latter two stats have meant to the success of this team this year?
I mean, we are obviously we got length, we have athleticism. I think, but the one thing that people don't often talk about is how incredibly smart our players are. They're highly intelligent. They're students of the game. They understand angles. They're super competitive because you can't do the things that we're doing without having a really good understanding of what's good about teams and try to take those things away, or knowing your scouting report where players are like to take their shots, and then creating an angle and a competitiveness that to cut that angle off and block a shot or deter a shot. And then just from a rebounding standpoint, rebounding is, it's not a skill, it's a decision. You're either going to do it or you're not.
Pete Iacobelli. Pete, well, yeah, he can go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
That's me, not Pete. Yeah. Dawn wanted to ask about diversity. 12 of the 16 coaches are women. That's the most, second most in a decade. 4 of the 16 are black. That's the most in a decade. Not that we're anywhere close to where we should be yet, but is this a good trend, in your opinion, where this game's going?
Yeah, I do think it's a good trend. I do think it's more popular to hire women at this stage of the game, and it's not to say that I'm going to sit here and bash, because we have a lot of male coaches who have been in our game for decades upon decades, and it's not that. It's probably the newer ones that maybe we're on the men's side of it that wants to come over. Yeah, I do think, and there's nothing wrong with that, because obviously I'm not going to sit here and tell an AD who to hire, but I will say that giving women an opportunity to coach women and helping women navigate through life like they have navigated through life will allow your student athletes a different experience than having a male coach. And it's, again, nothing against male coaches, because if you want to come to the women's game, obviously you have a desire and a passion to coach women. So it's popular now, and I hope it continues to trend in that direction.
Now here in front.
Mike Jensen, Philadelphia Inquirer. Dawn, the jersey, the Yolanda jersey that you wore last week, I know you talked about why, but I'm actually curious on the specifics of how it actually got to you. And then, in general, jerseys, how much thought do you actually put into whether it's a whim on the Eagles and having fun or honoring the game? How much thought do you put into the game day stuff?
I'm pretty intentional about what I wear and who I wear it for. The Yolanda jersey, I mean, Philly's big, so somebody from Philly got in contact with me and said that somebody wanted to give me a Yolanda jersey, and what size do I want? I'm like, yeah, I would like that Cheney State jersey, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I talked to Coach Stringer. I think her birthday was March 17th, so having spoken with her, having this person reach out to me, knowing what Yolanda has meant to youth development leagues in Philadelphia, it just made sense. And then I actually had a pair of pants that I didn't have to go with anything besides that jersey that I got, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, this matches up pretty cool. But there's depth behind what I wear.
Rick Henry.
When it's a jersey, not regular clothes, but when it's a jersey, when I'm honoring somebody because, I know them, or like the Eagles jerseys, I mean, we had to put good synergy into trying to get another Super Bowl.
Hey, Don, when you walk in the doors of this arena, is it like walking into a second home or a place where you're almost as comfortable as Colonial Life Arena because of all the games you played here in recent years?
Not so much the games, it's the people. Like, you walk through and you see familiar faces and you say hello, and they have, you have conversation with them. That is what feels comforting, because I like to get to know the people who actually put these events on and make sure that they're trying to give us a really great experience. So I remember the experiences because of the people who, they do the work. We just go out there and perform, but it takes a lot to put on, an SEC tournament, to put on a regional, to be a regional site. And I'm glad it's Greenville because of the relationships that we've built here.
Final few questions. Start with Andrea.
Don, Corey was just asked about the possibility of women's basketball getting their own television rights deal and also potential unit distribution for tournament appearances. Just curious what your thoughts are on those two topics.
It should happen. It should happen. We're at that place where we're in high demand, and we can. I do believe women's basketball can stand on its own and be a huge revenue producing sport that could do to a certain extent what men's basketball has done for all those other sports, all those other Olympic sports, and and women's basketball. I do believe we're at that place now. I do believe we were probably at a place, years ago, but until we're able to have the decision makers give us that opportunity, and I think it's a build up. It's slowly building up to that because there's proof in the numbers.
Gino?
Dawn, expanding on that, what's it like to be, kind of on the one of the stars of the stage, you and your team, for this TV ratings boom these last few years?
I just think it's cool. Because I don't really see, I don't see us as a, UConn or Tennessee. I don't see us as that because they are the, traditionally rich powerhouses of our game. But when you see South Carolina, we probably look like the rest of the country. The trajectory that we've been experiencing, someone else could do it that looks like our team. Meaning we're more of a blue collar, nose to the ground program that that has found some success. And I think we just try to do it the right way. And for people to tune in and want to watch us, it means that our game is growing. There's an opportunity for our game to grow. I'm a black coach, and I got a majority, predominantly black team. And for the viewers to tune into that, it means that we're opening doors that were closed for a program like us.
Final three questions, starting with a Zoom question. Go ahead, Doug. Doug, unmute yourself.
Yep, I'm here. Hey, Dawn. So as you get closer to that third title, people are going to inevitably start bringing up that South Carolina Dynasty Talk. It even started last year after you guys won. How do you either address that with the team or get them to kind of tune it out altogether?
Yeah, we don't really talk about it at all. Like we just stay current. We stay current. I think that has probably been a staple of this team, to where we don't reach beyond what's in front of us. We know it's there, and we know that's what we want, but we don't reach beyond, right now, UCLA. We don't get too far ahead of ourselves, and we just try to stay current. And if it happens, it's supposed to happen.
Final two questions will go Mel and then Grace.
Dawn, worldly as you are, what's your reaction to Tom Brady becoming a part owner of the Aces? Where he's in?
I think it's great for our game. Again, another person that's investing in our sport that has an incredible following. So he's going to open up doors for our game to continue to grow. So I'll cheer for him on that level. Other than that, it's go Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Final question to Grace.
Grace Rayner with The Athletic. Coach Yo from Seattle yesterday said that you were the first person she called when she got her Ole Miss interview. Just what is your relationship like, and what's it like seeing her on this stage in the Sweet 16 for the first time?
Yo has done a tremendous job. A job that, like she said, a lot of people turned it down, and people walked away from it. She walked towards being a change agent for that program. She's a really good coach. She's someone that loves her players and loves being where she is, and she stays current with what she's doing. She wanted a big break. She wanted to coach in the Power 5, and she's one that has started from the ground up, and she's built up knowledge, and she's gained some friends along the way that help mentor her in some areas, and not just me. She's got people all over the place that's helped her, and I'm just extremely happy for her, And I think she's got a pretty good bracket, where, she can defend. Like her teams defend, and they find a way to put enough points on the scoreboard to win some basketball games. So I'm happy she's representing the Southeastern Conference in the way that she is.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.